I don't know if any of what we do matters in the end. What I do know that matters is the people we hitch ourselves to and the indelible mark they leave upon our very being. I was reading a passage recently where a character was asking, which is more important, the journey or the destination? And the other replied, it's the company. And I couldn't agree more.
I believe in these words of Brad Pitt, that what matters are the people we connect with and how they influence us. It's not just about the path, but also the people who walk that path with us. That's why, early in this month, I joined Business Networking International, better known as BNI. This group of people consists of entrepreneurs who listen to what their fellow group members are looking for as a client, and, consequently, we have the duty to provide contacts for them. Givers gain is our motto. And also, I deeply believe that we go further when we are accompanied, just as Brad Pitt said. It's also customary in these meetings to give a testimonial for a service we provide to one of our fellow members, if it was a professional and exemplary one. In one of these meetings, one of my colleagues gave a testimonial to a businesswoman representing the OK Institute in our group. I'm not sure why, but something piqued my curiosity. I immediately sought to find out more about it. The following sentence is written on the Institute website. The OK Institute is an institute for development in human mastery which provides transformative experience for those seeking evolution and self-awareness. I grabbed the phone and I sent a message to Brigida to schedule a meeting so she could better explain to me the service provided by the Institute. We arranged to meet on a Friday at 3 p.m. at one of the hotels located in Funchal. Little did I know the adventure I was about to embark on just a few hours later. I arrived at the location and our meeting began. Brigida is an elegant woman with blonde hair, a penetrating gaze, and a smile that lights upon the room she's in. She started explaining the services when she mentioned that on that Friday evening, a training session would begin, lasting for 3 days, with participants staying at the hotel, focused on human development. I thought to myself, another one, I don't need this. I've been working on it and I'm fine. Brigida told me, I will call the person who leads the session and she can explain to you what we do during those 3 days. 2 minutes later, a short woman with incredible determination appeared. I felt immediately. Her name is Otilia. She explained what the training was about and asked me how I was doing in life at that exact moment. I told her everything I've been through, which you can hear again in my episode number 10, my story. After listening to me, she turned to me and said, with this course, I guarantee you will straighten out your life in a matter of months. In these moments that we use our rational button to the fullest, trying to come up with possible logical explanations to justify something that internally made perfect sense. By 7:30 p.m. that same day, I was checking in to embark on one of the most fantastic adventures I ever had in my entire life. And it was on this adventure that I met someone who inspired me immensely. His name is Vitor Cardoso, a former football player from Sporting's Lisbon youth teams. Life led him away from his football career due to a major injury and a significant loss, subsequently taking him down dark and winding paths. What is certain is that at the end of our training session, the craziest of our lives, I saw him laughing again, and what a smile he was showing. And it's him that I'm going to talk about today, the man who didn't smile, Vitor Cardoso. This is the David and Goliath podcast, and I will tell you real stories from normal people who had great mighty wars and defeated their giants. I went to this training because what had happened to me recently, which I describe in one of the episodes of my podcast. Throughout the training, we had several dynamics that were nothing more than actions where we were face to face with another person, or guide them to navigate a path blindfolded, or simply allowing the other person to share their pain, among other things. And it was one of these dynamics that I met Vitor, our hero of today's episode. He appeared in front of me looking sad. His eyes showed a deep emptiness in his soul. He voiced also great that I thought he might end his life at any moment. The void was so great that I thought he might end his life at any moment. Vitor has two brothers and he is the middle one. He was born into a family where he and his brothers and his mother were victims of domestic violence. The only moments of happiness during my childhood were between me and my brothers, Vitor confessed me. He spent his entire childhood always filled with fear of his father. And this was the prevailing feeling within his home. He was never able to have a loving relationship with his mother. As he told me, the fear I felt of my father wouldn't let me. The father, who was the cause of the violence within the household, prevent any kind of affectionate approach from Victor. Any mistake we made, it was a beating from top to the bottom, Vitor told me. Also told me that his father wasn't the kind of man who drank every day. It was during the times when he touched alcohol. He became very violent and aggressive. Any problem that appears, he took out on the drink. During Victor and his brother's misbehavior, when the father unleashed his pain, his mother, like any good protective parent, stood in front to defend them. The end result was the mother taking a beating. His upbringing was filled with these images of violence from his father and protection from his mother. I can't even imagine what it's like to live like that. His mother always wanted to have children. She had 3. The father said several times that as far as was concerned, none of them existed. It was a cruel childhood, he told me. I'm saying this in different words. It was a shitty childhood. It's the most accurate word to describe this horror movie. He grew up in this environment until he reached youth. He told me that he had a good youth, knowing how to adapt life's circumstances. We all know what he means by life's circumstances. That's right, his father. Often he would gather courage and stand between his father and mother so that this time he could defend her, and he took it for that. It was my turn to defend my mother, Vitor said. At the age of 11, he started playing football for a regional team called Bom Sucesso. At that age, it was clear he was going to be a young talent. And so it was. Nacional, another big team here in Madeira, noticed Victor and brought him into their youth teams. He spent 3 seasons with Nacional Colors Club. He was always on the regional team and was captain several times. The young talent ceased to be a promise and began to be a true reference in regional youth football, until a national tournament by the name Lopes da Silva Tournament arrived, sponsored at that time by the old Portuguese football legend, Eusébio. a highly recognized tournament where all the main country selections are enrolled: Lisbon, Porto, and of course, including Madeiras. Vitor was so good that he didn't go unnoticed by the big Portuguese clubs. It was from here that the dream of 11-year-old boy began to take shape. The sky was the limit. Our hero stood out so great that offers from big clubs started pouring in: Porto, Benfica, Guimarães, and of course Sporting. And he loved Sporting. He decided to accept their offer. He chose the club of his heart. He left behind the violence of his home and joined Sporting 3 months later. Little did he know that a few years later he would be forced to return. He played with great names of Portuguese football: João Moutinho, Nani, Miguel Veloso, and the national team goalkeeper Rui Patricio. He even played with Ronaldo, the great Ronaldo. The dream was coming true, to be a football player. He participated in all Portuguese national youth teams from under 15 to under 18. The future seemed bright. But our plans often are the same as what God wants for us. While Vitor was living his dream, his mother continued to be a victim of violence from her husband, Vitor's father. She received no love from her husband or her children, and as a result, she suffered a nervous breakdown. Vitor said she used to say she was going to kill herself, but we never believed it would happen. She was admitted to a psychiatric institution and stayed there for 2 years. At the end of those 2 years, the doctor discharged her. She seems to be cured. Vitor recalls, she sent us one more message saying she was to kill herself. But as we were used to receiving this message, we didn't pay attention. Vitor's mother left the hospital, bought rat poison, ingested and died. He was 18 years old. I deeply regret not giving her more love and affection. She never received love from anyone, he said. It was from here that my head exploded. He began to deviate from his focus, from his dream. He started missing training sessions. He started hanging out with bad company that dragged him into alcohol. I made a lot of mistakes. It was just drinking. I never touched drugs. But it was enough to start missing trainings, and little by little I began to bury the dream of being a footballer, he bitterly said. As a result, injuries began to appear, worsening his physical condition. Adding to this, the real reason for leaving Sporting was the death of his mother. It was too much pain for him to bear. And that's how he left Sporting and his dream. But you already know, just like what happened to me, a true and brave David never gives up, and God knows that. And that's how he closed this door but opened another one. Always. After my mother's death, I returned to Funchal. I stayed here on the island for 3 months before returning to Sporting. My friends at the time were still my friends from football here in Madeira. They all had girlfriends in Canisal, eastern part of Madeira Island. That's where they spent all their time. And it was there that I met my wife, Vitor recounted. Like any couple, they deeply loved each other. Football and Sporting ended, and our hero returned home for good. He didn't completely give up football, continued to play in Canisal. But since the salaries were always late, he started working as a gardener. He lived in his mother-in-law's house. Money was so tight, so they decided to immigrate. They had dreams of immigrating and, I dare to say, dreams of starting a family. And that's what happened. They went to Jersey, had their son born there. They stayed there for 12 years. Vitor said, I even like being a gardener. I was a gardener in Jersey. It's something I really enjoy. He loved his girlfriend very much. After some time of dating, they decided to get married in a civil ceremony. Then Vitor found out he was going to be a father. He said, our relationship was cooling down. We were going through a bit of rough patch. And the pregnancy was like the reigniting of an old flame, Vitor said. I was there for everything, from the first day until the day he was born. It was the first person to hold him, and it was incredible. He felt pride, because I went through the same. I know that feeling very well. Oh, and boy, what a feeling. Vitor told me that this day was the happiest day of his life. As time passed, the love between the couple diminished. We stopped loving each other. We stopped respecting each other. She was someone who had to have everything her way. And I let myself go along and did everything she asked, he confessed. I just felt trapped. I felt anguished for not being myself. Just to please her, I started to feel depressed. I started to drink more, to the point where alcohol controlled me and not the other way around. What made us separate was a lack of love. I felt trapped, without conversation topics, without harmony. We weren't happy. And with our son between us. I decided to end the relationship, and of course, I took it out on alcohol. Alcohol was a hiding place. I hid a lot with alcohol. He decided to leave Jersey and return to Madeira. I used to drink every day for a long time, recalls Vitor. I drank to hide the pain. It was my hiding place. Until recently, I could still control myself. But I knew that if I had more than 3 drinks, I wouldn't be able to stop, and then it was just drinking until I couldn't handle anymore. Then, one day, I walked into a bar in Camacha and looked at Carlinha, who was working behind the counter. I saw that she had a huge smile on her face, a contagious smile, an incredible cheerfulness. I asked her what had happened to make her so happy. That's when she told me she had attended a training session and her life had changed. She told me everything, and I thought to myself, this is what I need for myself. So, Vitor went to talk to someone from the OK Institute and enrolled in the course, and that's where I met him. 2 souls with tremendous pain in their hearts, searching for solutions, searching for answers. Incredibly, we found them. On February 3rd, 2023, I parted ways with my partner of almost 16 years. It was the darkest day of my life. From that day on, an immense pain invaded my soul. For a year, that pain was buried deep within me. I didn't want to feel it. I felt shame, fear. I was disgusted with myself. I didn't turn to alcohol like Vitor did, but I became addicted to work. I thought to myself I had to get back to normal as quickly as possible. The pain was there, and I came to realize that it wasn't just because of my separation. It was because of my bankruptcy of my company, for destroying my family, for my daughters, for losing friendships and family members, for causing pain to my parents. For all the pain in the world I carry out on my shoulders. When I sat face to face with him, I felt the emptiness he had within him. How I related so well. On the Sunday morning, the last day of the training, I cried a lot. I think I've never cried as much in my life as I did then. I opened the floodgates, just Otilia said. I left the tears of that pain on the floor of the hotel's room. After this, I went to the drawer to retrieve my dreams that were gathering dust. The dust of shame, of not believing myself, of what others would think. The dust of fear. I assumed all over again, and on the following Monday, I start working on those projects again. In the story of David and Goliath, King Saul gave David armor and sword so that he could fight the giant Goliath. David refused because he said he wasn't used to fighting that way. Instead, he was used to fight with a sling and stones, and that's how he killed the lions and the bears that attacked his flock. That's how he brought down the giant. I have stated many times in other episodes that the biggest Goliath for us lies within ourselves. I also said that the only way to knock him down is to accept his existence and use our gifts, use our strengths. And that's what we did, me and Victor. We use our courage. On Saturday, when he sat in front of me, I genuinely thought he wouldn't make it until Sunday. I feared he would give up or even take in his own life when he was alone. The look was so sad and so distant. When I look at him, I revealed my head what happened 2 years ago, giving up everything, swallowing a bottle of pills, and that's it. Just like in Vitor's case, at the time, I didn't do it because of my daughters. And just like in Vitor's case, today I say that I didn't do it for my sake. It was with great joy that I saw him smiling from here to here with the contagious disposition on Sunday afternoon, just like Carlinha at the bar in Camacha. He didn't give up. With the same disposition, I left that training. I felt a true David, a true warrior, a true king. As of March 17, I can say that I'm on my journey with 27 wonderful people, true phoenixes, where Victor is one of them. We accepted everyone's vulnerability, we share our dreams, we embrace each other, and oh boy, how we embrace each other. We cry, just like a real family, my fellow travelers. Before I leave you, I would like to read the message he wrote about his future in our WhatsApp group, along with the photo when he played for the national football team 22 years ago. Vitor wrote, "My dream was to be a football player. This photo was taken 16 years ago and I was at the top in the world of football. I represented our national team several times. At that time, nothing could stop me from achieving my goal. And today, I dream of that same thing, being a player of sporting, where I grew up as a footballer. Unfortunately, I had a big loss in life that made me deviate from my path. I have lived with this pain until I did the course. Today, I feel free and open to reintegrate football into my life, not as player, but as a coach. Have a blessed and happy day, everyone." Just like him, I reintegrate basketball into my life. I will start the basketball coaching course next month in April. Vitor turned 38 years old yesterday. The first year of many as a new man. I'm very proud of you, my friend. May God bless you every day.
I sit away. Does an angel contemplate my fate? Come on! 'Cause I've been told that salvation lets their wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head, and I feel that love is out. Come on! Let me in! above.